3 years ago, I was traveling in Warsaw, Poland, and I had gotten to this downtown area, and I was looking for a bathroom. And when I got to one of the gift shops near the train station, I looked for the bathroom, and there was a sign on there which I presume read that the restrooms are for customers only. And I walked throughout the store, and I just can't find anything suitable. It's like a convenience store. There's a lot of food items, and obviously it's all written in Polish, which I cannot read, and obviously I have dietary restrictions. So I offer the cashier 5 Zoid, about a little bit over a US dollar, for the keys to the bathroom, but she's all confused. She obviously doesn't speak English, and it just goes to show that, I would hate to just buy something just to toss it out. I'm kind of environmentally conscious. At the same time, couldn't read any of the ingredients in there, and I wasn't trying to be a cheapskate or anything. But I couldn't get her to understand what was going on. I ended up going behind the bushes. Fortunately, downtown Warsaw is not very packed. And then I got really worried because this was in 2017. So about a week before I had left for my vacation, there was this college student, I can't remember the name, Otto Warmbier, who had gone to North Korea and gotten in trouble and gotten kidnapped by the North Korean government. And I started to worry, did I just commit like a capital offense in Poland? Fortunately, I got away with it. Well, it all started because I think people are so influenced by technology that they forget that on an everyday basis they're dealing with a human being, right? People go to the store and they use self-checkout. I don't think self-checkout is nearly as common in Europe. I went to Japan one time and it's full of self-checkout. But so they forget that they're dealing with a human being. Earlier this week, I had a frustrating experience with a client that I picked up on Craigslist for tutoring. I'm glad I stuck through with it because I ended up getting the client, and he's relatively pleasant to work with, but he had a little bit of a bias like that as well. So what had happened was that he had emailed me asking me my experience and all checked out. And we had scheduled to meet in the library in downtown Bellevue after I get off of work, so I would get there around 7:30. And there was a little bit of back and forth, and at 6 o'clock or 6:30, he sends me an email asking me if we can meet at this Starbucks, and he doesn't even know the exact location. He's describing what's near it. And so I go to Google Maps to figure it out, and it's closed at 7. They close at 7. And for one thing, the way he described it was very misleading. It wasn't like I could just get in my car and drive there. I actually had to Google search it. And second, he doesn't even know the hours. He talked about it like he knew that place because he said, "Oh, could you go to the Starbucks near so-and-so?" It didn't sound like he had just recently Googled this place. And yet, he doesn't know the hours. And all that information is on Google nowadays. See, when I was a kid, when I was his age, if I was getting tutoring, he's going to college. When I was his age, I don't think I had the luxury of going to Google and finding out the hours of the location. I might have been able to find the address, or maybe the phone number, and then I would have to call. When I was even younger than that, I had to go to the Yellow Pages to find out the address and then call them. And yet, with all this technology, he doesn't even want to use it because he's so fluent with technology that he forgets that he's dealing with a human on the other side of the equation. And so he says 7:30, and I try to email him back, and he stops responding to the email. My guess is that he showed to the Starbucks at 7:30 and realized, it's closed. But if he did, he didn't even think to email me and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we got it mixed up." He didn't email me until like 9:30 that night. People are just so tied up to their technology that they're forgetting that we live in a human world. Just really frustrating every time I run into it. And then I've jumped around from different living places here in the Seattle area. At one point, I was living in an apartment building, and what would be really heartbreaking is to see truck after truck of deliveries, groceries, toilet paper, laundry detergent, when we lived like literally walking distance to the to a wasn't a Walmart. It was like a big department store. I can't even remember the name now because this is a different part of town. But this is really disappointing because these people, they aren't disabled or anything. They have, oftentimes these people are lonely, and right after the truck arrives, they're probably logging into a dating website. I say, how about you combine the two activities and go out to shop? You know, and people are just so locked down to I mean, technology is great for a lot of things, but personally, I don't buy anything online that I can't buy off. There's just a lot to life to enjoy than just clicking a few mouse buttons, in my opinion.